When you look out into the world, what do you see? Chances are you look at the surface of things, but did you know that there is a whole different environment right before your eyes, and you'll never know it's there? So it's time to look deeper. Here are 10 secret places hidden in plain sight. Before we look behind the curtain, if you enjoy learning about all sorts of secrets, then take a moment to subscribe to our channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. Also, be sure to turn on the little gray bell so you'll know every time we post a new video. Eiffel Tower. Ever wanted to live on top of the world? We live our lives striving to make it while looking down on the world below us. Perhaps this yearning was in Gustave Eiffel's mind when he designed his infamous tower. Yes, we're talking about that Eiffel Tower. What most people don't know is that Eiffel actually designed a secret apartment built at the very top. Most visitors who make the trek to the top of the Eiffel Tower will see a room with mannequins inside. While Eiffel could look down on the rest of the world wasn't invited to his apartment at all. Rich Parisians would often offer Eiffel a large sum of money to rent the apartment for a night, but he always refused. Only a few iconic people of his time had access to the apartment, one of which was Thomas Edison. The apartment is located at the height of 1,000 feet and is a cozy little apartment that has a good view of the city of Paris, no matter which side you're looking from. Today, it seems that the city of Paris is opening up Eiffel's apartment to the public, so this secret is exposed. Mount Rushmore. When most people look at Mount Rushmore, they see the faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. It's all rock, right? Surely there's nothing more than just the presidential faces. But behind the frontal lobe of Lincoln lies a secret room that holds some of the United States' most historical records. This secret room is the Hall of Records, and the entrance to this room still looks like a work in progress. Of course, this sounds a lot like something Indiana Jones or Nicolas Cage would explore in National Treasure. But this hidden room is very real, and it is one of the most important rooms in the country. Beyond the entrance is a titanium vault, which holds a historical repository. The idea for the vault came about in the 1930s by Gutzon Borglum, who designed Mount Rushmore. Unfortunately, the idea was never completed and Borglum left the land of the living. Then, in 1998, officials at Mount Rushmore revisited the dream. Behind the granite slab is a titanium vault, and in that vault is a teakwood box that holds the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and a biography of Borglum. The Matterhorn. Disneyland is the original happiest place on Earth. When the park opened in 1955, Walt Disney set an amazingly high standard when it came to theme parks. Even to this day, Disneyland continues to be one of the most visited places in the world. When you visit Disneyland, one of the first things you'll notice is a majestic-looking mountain that houses the Matterhorn ride. Disney is notorious for having things like hidden Mickeys around and about the park. But there are secret places hidden in plain sight all over the park. There's the Disney Dream Suite in New Orleans Square, which was available for a one-night stay during Disneyland's 50th anniversary, but there is a hidden place that has been looking over Disneyland for quite some time. That is the basketball court that is inside the Matterhorn. As riders are sent swirling around the mountain while avoiding the abominable snowman, they have no idea that there is a basketball court at its center. There is also a cast member break room located at the base of the Matterhorn. Today, the basketball court is only accessible to climbers and the performer playing Tinkerbell, but it remains intact to this day. Times Square. If you've ever watched the ball drop in Times Square on New Year's or ever looked at the location from photos, movies, and magazines, then chances are you know what One Times Square is. If we just confused you, it's okay. One Times Square is the name of the building that sits in the famous intersection and has also been known as 1475 Broadway, New York Times Tower, and the Times Tower. It was completed in 1904, and the 25-story building started off as the headquarters of the New York Times. Before the New York Times moved in, the area was actually called Longacre Square and Adolph Ox. The owner of the newspaper convinced the city to rename the area Times Square. Because of its location, One Times Square is considered to be one of the most valuable advertising spaces in the world. Today, the store Walgreens occupies the first floor, and it is rented out up until the 21st floor. Jeff Strauss owns the 22nd floor and has a New Year's party every year. The top 3 floors remain vacant in order to leave room for advertising, which has proven to be more profitable and less hassle than having tenants. Floor 103. While we're still in New York City, let's take a trip to the Empire State Building. At one point, this building was one of the tallest skyscrapers in the world, and it still remains famous today. As we all know, there was a lookout platform on the 86th floor and an observatory pod on the 102nd floor, and most people assume that's where the viewing area ends. Not quite. There is a hidden place on the 103rd floor that consists of a small room with a low balcony, meaning that you don't have to deal with the fencing around the open space like you do with the lookout platform. Of course, we know why the fencing is there, but it can be a bit bothersome when you're trying to take a good picture of the New York City skyline. If you're hoping to get in on having access to the 103rd floor, you will either have to work at the Empire State Building or be a VIP. Around the 103rd floor, VIP visitors are treated to a gallery of photos of different celebrities who have graced the floor with their presence. Next time you're looking at a massive skyscraper, know there is more than what meets the eye. You've made it halfway into the video. Reward yourself with some trivia from our quiz. Where is the smallest police station in Great Britain? Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out the answer. Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Well, there are things happening in Las Vegas that are hiding right under your nose. While most people are gambling, drinking, and enjoying the life of Vegas like watching shows, there are real people struggling right under the tourists' feet. But where did these tunnels come from? In the 90s, the city started building tunnels underground in order to deal with the flash flood issues that have been plaguing the area. The original plan was to build hundreds of miles of tunnels, but those plans fell to the wayside. Today, those tunnels are home to hundreds of homeless people. The tunnels are pitch black, and the only way to get around is by flashlight. Along with the homeless population, there is also plenty of vermin and scorpions who call those tunnels home. In 2002, the tunnels gained national attention after criminal Timothy T.J. Weber used them to escape the police after he ended his girlfriend's life. There were even reports that a psychiatric hospital dumped as many as 1,500 patients across state lines, and they made their way to the tunnels. Now, there are organizations that are dedicated to helping the homeless population that occupy the tunnels, like the Shine a Light Foundation. Rooftop Garden. When one thinks of Oakland, California, they may think of how it's across the bay from San Francisco, or even the battleship USS Hornet that's just minutes away from the city. Oakland has a style of its own that leaves an impression on anyone who visits. Standing over Lake Merritt is the Kaiser Center. It is one of the most iconic buildings in Oakland, and it stands about 28 stories tall. While the building itself is a marvel to look at, it is the headquarters for the Bay Area Rapid Transit. Most people don't even know about what's sitting at the top of the building. We haven't been conditioned to really look up and think about stuff like that. There is actually a rooftop garden that features a very large reflecting pool that many people consider big enough to be a lake. What many people also don't know is that the rooftop garden has free events throughout the year, and because it is located in Northern California in the Bay Area, the weather is usually favorable for such events. This rooftop garden was actually one of the first to be created after World War II, and it was designed by a firm by the name of Theodore Osmundson and Associates. Liberty's Torch. We're going to venture back to New York City for a moment to talk about one of its most iconic features, the Statue of Liberty. From 1892 until 1954, the Statue of Liberty welcomed new immigrants to the United States with its famous quote from the poem The Colossus, which states, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." Before 1916, you could actually go all the way up to the top of the Statue of Liberty to her torch, where there was an observation deck. The torch was closed after it was damaged from an explosion, and it was closed off from tourists forever. But the torch wasn't the only secret room that Lady Liberty was keeping to herself. While workers were constructing a staircase at the base of the statue, they uncovered a secret room. Construction stopped, and archaeologists were on the scene. The room actually predates the Statue of Liberty. Before the statue was erected, the US government built a fort on the island in 1807 called Fort Wood, which was built due to fear of a British attack. When Liberty was in the process of being built, concrete was poured into the fort. The newly discovered secret room was believed to have held gunpowder and other weapon supplies for the fort. Oil rigs. Oil rigs aren't the most attractive things in the world, but when you live in a city like Los Angeles, California, which is a major oil city, you know that oil rigs are a necessity for the city's economy. The oil fields in LA remain productive. When one well closes, another one seems to open immediately. In the 1930s, the city was producing 25% of the world's oil output, which is pretty significant. As we know, LA is a massive city, and oil rigs are not only a sight for sore eyes, but they are hazards as well. The Packard Well site managed to keep an oil rig secretly secretly hidden from the general public while it still conducted business. The oil rig is actually inside a building, and everything inside its walls are vacant. Its primary purpose is to hide the oil rig that is working inside, while still maintaining a clean look for the exterior. So next time you are in a major city, take a look at the buildings. What you think might be a set of office buildings could really be hiding a completely different operation. You can't judge a book by its cover, nor can you judge a building by its walls. Cinderella Castle Suite. How many times have you visited a Disney park and wished that you could live there? Well, Disney Imagineers have heard your pleas, and they have responded with a one-of-a-kind magical experience that money can't buy. While Disneyland's Sleeping Beauty Castle may not be able to hold a living space, Walt Disney World's Cinderella Castle certainly can. While the hardcore Disney nerds will already know about this apartment, this room remains hidden from the general public. Each year in January, Disney gives away a 5-day, 4-night stay in the Cinderella Castle Suite. If you want the true Disney experience, you definitely want to put your name in the hat. The suite features a sitting room, a magic mirror that turns into a TV, a luxurious bathtub, stained glass art on the walls, and a fireplace molded from an original 18th century design from France. The Castle Suite is the only hotel room that is inside the park, and you're guaranteed to have non-stop Disney magic if you can find your way into this secret room. What's even more fun is that you'll be hidden in plain sight from the rest of the thousands of guests who visit Disney World each year. Where is the smallest police station in Great Britain? It's in London. You can find it on the southeast corner of Trafalgar Square. It is made from a hollowed-out lamppost and can hold about 2 prisoners at a time. If you've ever visited the area, you might have walked by this tiny police station without even realizing it. Thanks for joining us. Don't stay hidden from us. We always love to hear from our viewers, so let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, check out some of our other videos on the channel and be sure to subscribe to us. If you've ever dreamed of being the first comment, then take a moment to click on that gray bell so you'll get notifications every time we post the new video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.